New York City.
See, I love to show y'all this is Backspin, Serious Sex, and Miss Faith Evans is here. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm awesome.
Yeah?
I am.
Yeah?
Yes.
Everything's good. New album out. New album out. Today?
It came out Monday the 24th.
Okay, tell me about this album.
It's awesome. No, it really is. It's my best album. It's a conceptual type of thing. It's like the story of my romantic life post-divorce.
How was your romantic life post-divorce?
Well, the songs pretty much reflect the time with me, you know, kind of deciding that I'm okay to date or see someone, and not really thinking I want to be in a relationship, but then ending up being in one because I really like the person, you know, just that whole
is that tough?
It's different for me because I was married, you know, most of my adult life, so and I'm, you know, used to being in a relationship, so
So was it tough going from your husband, from Big passing away to being married to Todd? Was that a tough transition?
That was different because no, it wasn't, because Todd and I were good friends, and Big and I were separated for for a minute before he passed away.
Right.
But the way he kind of handled that whole situation was really a catalyst for our relationship going beyond being friends.
Okay.
Actually, so. And
then now being divorced from Todd, was it difficult for you to decide to throw yourself back into the dating game?
A little bit. It was a little bit. Just to think about, okay, dating, because I think when I think dating, I think that means seeing multiple people, which I'm not really into. Mm-hmm. So, you know, obviously the first.
It doesn't mean like seeing them. I mean, you can date.
I'm just saying, but I don't have
I like
time
you. I'm not sure if I like you.
I don't have a whole lot of extra time to do that, like to see if I want to, you know. I gotta kind of connect with the energy to even give you my time like that.
Right.
So. That's the challenge for me.
Being busy with the kids and the career and then the television.
Mainly the kids in the house. You know.
In the house and all of that. It's tough.
It is.
It's tough. So when did you decide you wanted to throw your hat back out?
Probably about a year after my divorce. Mm-hmm. Maybe about a year after that.
How did he take it, or you don't care?
I know. We weren't living together anymore, so.
But still, it's fresh, though, you know.
Nah, not so much. I mean, the actual making that move was fresh, but I mean, you know, it wasn't like.
Because I think my ex-wife cared more about when I got divorced. I think she cared more about me dating than I did what she was doing.
Well, maybe it's because you are, you know, in the position you're in to be a public figure.
Well, so are you, Faith.
That's what I'm saying. So if there was, but he didn't let me know if he had any feelings about it, because
he ain't say, I don't want no whole bunch of niggas around my kids. He ain't say that.
Nah.
Well, she said it to me. I mean, different women around the kids. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
Tell me what to do with my kids.
But see, I don't do that anyway. I mean, you know, when it got to the point where I was really feeling him and we knew we were kind of seeing each other, you know, my kids already kind of knew.
Do y'all have to officially say we seeing each other, or was it just like unspoken? Really. Like, you my woman now, Faith. Do you know that? You don't have to go through that.
He probably said that jokingly.
Okay.
I think he was joking because, you know, we already were seeing each other.
Right, so you already knew what it was.
Yeah.
Now, is this an outside, because you had two very public inside the industry man. Is this an outside the industry man? Is this different for you now?
Well, I didn't even say it's still going on, but
come on, Faith.
He is in the industry. He's an up and coming producer, and I work with him. I worked with him on this album, and he is my musical director.
And Faith Evans and Comparables in stores right now, and you can go and pick it up, right, Faith?
Yes, sir.
Right.
And online.
And online.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can get it either way. We got to remember the technology. We're living in this technological society, but we have to be on top of making sure everybody knows that they can get some stuff online, because that's the way most people buy stuff now anyway, right?
A lot of them do, but I think statistically, from what I've been told, a lot of my fans still want to buy the CD.
They still want the CD with all the artwork on the fancy.
Yeah.
Because the ladies just want to see what you got on face. They be like, "What Faith wearing? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see what's going on with Faith now, because you know she's my favorite."
I like reading credits myself.
Yeah, I was a credit person too. That's how come I knew a lot of the people, like who was playing what instrument on what and who the arrangers were and all of that.
Yeah.
I know. Did you ever imagine that all these years later you would still be doing this? Many
Not really.
moons ago.
Well, before I was actually a signed artist, I didn't really know, I want to be a recording artist. I knew I was going to do something involving singing. So that could have been a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
I never really, until it just kind of happened and I started being around more people in the industry. And
how did that happen? How did Puffy find you, or did you find Puffy?
Initially, I was working with Al B. Shore, China's dad, who's a producer.
Okay.
He was working with Al B. Shore, and I would kind of just be his ride to the studio. And then he heard a demo that I had did when I was in LA with Christopher Williams Camp, who China's dad used to work with as well.
Okay.
And he just came in and was like, "I can't believe this is you singing like this, and you just sitting in the lounge, and you didn't tell me." So I was like, I wasn't here to sing. But from that day on, Al paid me like 2 G's a week to come and just lay down his demos.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was, real happy about that because I was on welfare. I had a little infant and, I wasn't mad at that.
Right.
So, probably less than a year later.
Faith, you were on welfare?
Yes, sir.
You used to go to the department and get the check?
I know. I hated going to that building. I hated going there, but yeah.
And you're from North, right?
I am.
So you had to go to one of East Orange?
Downtown.
Okay. Ugh. Yeah. I don't blame you for hating going down there.
But I mean, I had to do that at the time. I had
right.
real health insurance like that. So
right.
I had to do what I had to do.
So Al B was paying you to lay down the demo stuff on, the track stuff on.
And I had actually met Puff prior to that when I was in LA pregnant with China. I think they needed someone to sing a quick part on one of Chris's records that Puff produced, and I went. But I wasn't really sure if he remembered me from that when I came as the ride to the studio for China's dad again.
Right.
And they were going to try and get some on Usher's new project, which Puff was doing, his first album.
Right, yeah.
And they needed someone to sing like 2 lines, and then they ran it like, "Hey, can you sing this part?" And then I went in there and I was like, "Mr. Puff, you mind if I change it a little bit?" And I arranged it and put all these harmonies. As soon as I came out the booth, he asked me did I want to sign to his new label.
Wow.
Damn.
So,
wow. And then you became the first lady of Bad Boy. Now, how did that affect your relationships all the way across the board? Because I know there was a little bit of tension because Mary felt like Puff modeled you after her.
There was never any tension that I knew of, to be honest. While I was still working out my deal with Bad Boy, Puff had me working on the Usher project as well as Mary's My Life album.
Okay.
So, back then we used to actually hang out a lot. She and Lisa and myself and Cheryl and Latanya.
Right.
I never was aware of any tension. I used to hear little things like that, but it never came to me directly.
There was nothing that was ever said to you directly about it.
No. Not until I was told she wanted her voice off my album. But that still didn't come directly.
Wait a minute, she was on your album also, your first album?
Yeah, there was a duet with Mary and I. Love Don't Live Here Anymore.
Okay.
And I ended up re-recording it without her, which I hated the version without her on it because that was just such a Mary song to me.
Wait a minute, are you talking about like the You Abandoned Me?
Yes.
Y'all did a duet on that?
Yeah, that was on my first album.
And it didn't come out with Mary?
It did come out with Mary.
Oh, okay.
I had to re-record it for when they repressed the album. Thank God they wanted the album that bad that they had to make more copies.
Right.
But I had to sing it without her on it.
Oh, man.
I don't know why, though. I never got to the bottom of it. I've heard so many stories, but to be honest, I didn't really go. I was just like, I didn't do anything.
Right.
Whatever,
I'm just on welfare 2 years ago.
Hey,
I'm trying to come up, right? I'm trying to live. I want to sing, let me sing. Everybody else is
I
singing shit.
I really didn't, I didn't know, I wasn't aware of any issues, so therefore I couldn't take it seriously and let it really affect me.
Now, with you and Big, was it love at first sight?
No, it wasn't.
Or did he have to put in the work?
But it was definitely a very rapid movement
Okay.
as far as us actually falling in love.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't take me being around him that many times, you know.
Right.
It was a combination of just his humor, his confidence.
He was funny
and
as all
the fact that he really
outdoors.
made me feel like he was feeling me like that. So
Right.
who doesn't want to feel like that?
Right. Now, how was R&B Divas? Let's
How
talk about
was
that.
The experience?
Yes. Who was the crazy one?
You know what? I am not at liberty to make any character analysis for anybody.
Right.
I think whatever you guys saw and ascertained from people's, what they give, I know I'm not. I know who's not.
You wasn't the crazy one.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
How did that all come about, Faith?
R&B Divas, actually Nikki Gilbert, who's a good friend of mine for
Yes.
many years, she came to me with the idea.
Nikki Gilbert from Brownstone, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, who can sing her motherfucking ass off.
Yay, Nikki.
What's up, Nick?
We've been friends for a very long time. And she came to me with the idea and asked me would I kind of help her, map it out and take some meetings, set up some meetings for her, because I had already shot a couple of pilots. Me and Misa were going to do a show.
Okay.
Before that. And I wasn't even planning on being in the cast.
Okay.
Initially, I just was gonna, help her sell the show and have the EP thing under my belt. But, they asked me to be a part of the cast in order to help sell the show.
Right.
So that's pretty much how it came about. However, after the first season, our creative input wasn't really being respected, or wasn't even being taken.
Okay.
So, I think at that point, it's kind of when things started to change. Certainly for me, because that's not really what I signed up for. So, but it's all good. I'm happy to have a successful franchise under my belt.
Yeah.
And we're actually working on a few other reality and scripted things. So.
Oh, yeah?
We just partnered with Shakim and Latifah on one project that we will, I guess, soon announce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you part of the whole R&B Divas franchise.
Oh yeah, I still get my credit and my check.
Yeah, so you don't care how many they turn out, as long as they can do R&B Divas Hong Kong, as long as they send in that motherfucking check, baby. That's all that matters. Keep sending the check.
Yeah.
That's nice, Faith. That's nice.
I mean, it's nice, but it's unfortunate that what we really envisioned it being, it took a turn. But again, there's a good and a bad side.
Yeah,
so it's all good.
absolutely. And then it's your first show now, right? That was your first one?
That was my first
So now when you're stepping into this next one, you know what's supposed to be in that paperwork so you can control your shit.
Well, yeah, it's not even so much that it wasn't in there already. Sometimes when things come down to being a network call above production and, you know what I mean?
Right,
so
yeah,
it's like...
Yeah, that's what the network wants.
Going through.
Right, going through the headache and the heartache. Now, being a mom, there was something that was put out in the airways of social media about CJ when he graduated from high school. And did you want to kill somebody?
No, I said what I said real quick to Sandra Rose, who said it, but it was like,
yeah,
that was me and my motherly moment. Like,
off.
Leave my child alone, get out of here. Because it was just. First of all, she said something that wasn't true, and then, of course, we know everything just takes on a life of its own once it's out there. So, but luckily, CJ is my child, and they are, they know what this thing is. They know that comes with the territory. So he was actually laughing at it.
Okay.
I'm sure that somewhere in him he felt a way because you got to deal with your friend, but overall he dealt with it pretty well.
But as a mom, you just wanted to choke a bitch a little bit.
I just felt a way because it's like, what are you talking about? He never said that. He didn't say anything like that.
Right.
At all. And if he was trying to announce that he was gay, I think he would probably tell me.
Yeah, he would tell
his
mom
dad first and
right.
not decide to,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all good. He's not gay. And if he was, I would still love him just the same.
That's right. Because that's your son.
I wouldn't be ashamed of it if he was.
Right. Yeah, it's all good. But I know you living your life in the limelight for so many years. Like, it's been a long time. That sometimes shit got to get under your skin sometimes. Because the shit bothers
Not
you.
me.
No?
I think that the more time goes on, the less I give, actually. I'm serious. Like, I really never you know, too much. I mean, there was certainly a time when there were so many different things that were not necessarily true that people may have said or that may have been put out there about me. But, you know, after I had to really realize, like, they don't know me, and I can't really worry about what people think. You know, if I'm not taking any actions that point toward that, you know what I mean? So it's like I can't really worry about that. Unless I know I'm doing something wrong that I need to check myself on, then that's a different story.
Do you still enjoy the singing?
I do. I love it.
You still love it?
I love it.
Do the fans still love to come out?
It seems like they do. My shows are getting better and better. I mean, I've certainly come a long way as far as my actual stage, you know, performances. You know, I'm not shy. I used to be really shy at the beginning of my career, but, you know. But I love getting on the stage. I love interacting with my fans, and I just love the fact that I have some hit records that they sing, and sometimes I don't even have to sing, but, you know, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, and I actually equally as much enjoy still the creative process, the studio process, even though, you know, putting in that type of work, it's like you were saying earlier, it's not the same. You ain't making really a lot of money being a quote-unquote recording artist only.
Right.
But I still thoroughly enjoy, like, you know, making good music.
Ding, 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 ding. Faith is in the building. Now, you was telling me about your next project, which is?
My next project is going to be called The King and I, and it is a project that I've been thinking about, you know, hoping to do for many years.
Okay.
And, you know, at time, things just aligned themselves to where I was able to do a deal to do this duet album with myself and Biggie.
Okay. Wow. Now, do you have unreleased Biggie stuff?
Not a whole bunch. There's a couple of things, but it's not going to be, that won't be the main source of his vocals. I will use some stuff that has already been released, but not at all in the way that it was. You know, I'm taking from a bunch of different stuff. I'm creating all new songs, totally all new songs.
Oh, wow.
So it's not like I'm just going to remix and stuff or sing on top of it.
Right.
Like
You're going to create brand new material out of it.
Yes.
By some of the stuff. Wow. That sounds interesting.
You know, kind of like, I mean, well, the inspiration was what Natalie Cole and, you know, Nat King Cole. That was sort of the inspiration behind it. But, you know, I told Miss Wallace a long time ago, like, one day I really want to be able to do that album. And she's like, that'll be great. So, you know.
Yeah. How is the fabulous Miss Wallace?
Miss Wallace is doing well. She's still up in the country living her life, gardening, and, well, I guess not now, it's cold. But, you know, she's chilling, living her life, and enjoying her grandkids.
Right,
and
right.
She's doing okay, though.
Yeah, good. She's a fantastic lady. Please give her my regards.
I sure will.
And I love the way that y'all bond together, and just, you guys were just so strong doing everything, you know what I mean? And I loved it. I was like, that's nice.
Yeah, we had to be there, you know, for one another.
What did you think about the movie, Notorious?
I thought they did a good job.
Did you like the young lady that played you?
Yes, I think she did an excellent job. I actually had worked with her when she was signed to Flavor Unit Records back in the day.
Okay.
And Latifah and them were managing me. I wrote a couple of songs for Anthony. So when they mentioned the name, as far as possibly playing me, I was like, I wonder if that's the same girl, but she's from Jersey, so it was very authentic to me. I thought it was a good
You think it was a good portrayal of you?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. I mean, there's some things that were definitely played up for cinematic value, I guess.
Right.
You know, like, I noticed, which I never really watched this part until recently, when he and I first met at the photo shoot, and it kind of had it like I was all high posed, and, you know, like, but it wasn't like that at all. I was very shy, especially back then, so I was definitely not feeling myself like that.
Uh-huh.
You know, but, and when I went in the hotel, it wasn't a Caucasian girl.
It was
who I rocked.
Wow.
But you know, I think people, a lot of times people ask, you know, was it accurate?
Yeah. How accurate was that? It was a sister you rocked, Faith?
Yeah. It was. That part was very, I mean, the things that involved me that I saw were very accurate. There were things that I probably didn't know happened, you know, until I saw the movie that I may have been there for, but I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was what happened when I left, you know.
Right.
But the movie was based on, I think people, you know, kind of always look at it like it's a biopic and it's a chronological account, but it was really based on a book that Cheo did.
Right.
And that book was really just a bunch of different interviews of people people who knew and were close to Big, and what different stories they shared about him. So I don't think the script was, you know, there was certainly a lot of elements that of his life or of even his career that may not have particularly been in that script, but the script was based on a book that was just different accounts of what people had to say about their experiences with Big.
Yeah.
As opposed to, it wasn't based on his mother's biography. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we all have, you know, when you want to find out about somebody, it's always a lot of different stories, and people have different stories and views on people all the time. Because I had some, oh my God, I had some funny times with Big, man. Just every time I just think about him, I just laugh. A lot of fun. He's always fucking joking and making jokes and telling jokes and doing something crazy like that. So it was always a good time. Faith Evans is in the building with us, man. This is the I Love a Show, y'all. This is Backspin on Sirius XM.